Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another of my fictional short stories. This one is called A Remarkable Retirement. It was time for me to give my slot to a younger scientist. I was still a good cancer researcher, but there are better, younger ones. While figuring out what to do next, I continued my early morning coffee with three researchers who had already retired. Of course, we talked shop, but we also talked family and news. With the Israel-Palestinian conflict being meaty, we've debated it, and I concluded that they were applying a tougher standard to Israel than to other countries. For example, the Muslim countries that force women to wear burqas or get beaten, or the African countries that force girls to get clitorectomies and do too little to try to stop sex trafficking. I agreed that Israel's response to the barbaric Hamas attacks is an overreaction, but my friend's venom, applied mainly to Israel, made me wonder if anti-Semitism drives, at least in part, some of their anger. Even though two of my three friends are Jewish. Indeed, Jews have long, in a conspicuous display of virtue signaling, championed the underdog. For example, Jews have been at the forefront of expanding rights for blacks, even though blacks rarely support and sometimes display violent prejudice against Jews, for example, with its notorious knockout game. I found that the harder my friends pushed, the more supportive of Israel I became. And then I told him I was thinking of going to Israel to volunteer, doing something peaceful like maybe doing Israeli soldiers' laundry as a symbol of support for them as human beings. My friends scoffed, which somehow made me more serious about it, and I did volunteer. Israel felt I could be of more use than doing laundry, so they paired me with another American of similar age, Rachel Weiss, to help Israeli families whose homes were bombed and then looted by Palestinians. Our job was to help them get life's basics so they could start rebuilding their lives. We scrounged to find medications, a bicycle, even a teddy bear for a frightened child. And we took pictures, careful to photograph not just Israeli suffering, but Palestinian as well. Not surprisingly, Rachel and I got closer. And then one day, as we were helping a family clear rubble, three Hamas fighters, guns drawn, yelled, "You! Here! Now!" They pointed not at me, but at Rachel, and I never saw her again. I then Zoomed with my estranged, very woke daughter Zoe to tell her what happened. Despite her antipathy to me as a mere moderate, she begged me to come home, and I acceded. When I returned home, Zoe was more impassioned than ever about the pro-Palestinian cause. She said that she had become educated by the media and, ironically, by her son, who had been learning about what the ethnic studies curriculum called Israeli oppression, occupation, and apartheid. I looked at the curriculum and I was abhorred, so biased, so anti-merit, that I decided to run for school board, running on a platform encouraging the schools to do more to encourage merit-based critical thinking and judgment. I won by 0.5%, and was grateful that in these days of losers challenging elections, my opponent didn't. But in my first school board meeting, keeping my campaign promise, I showed examples of the anti-Israeli and, yes, anti-Semitic ethnic studies curriculum. After just maybe a half minute, I was interrupted by a board member, and then by audience members taking their signal from the board member, who started yelling things like, "Save Gaza! Stop Israeli genocide!" again and again. My heart was pounding, and I decided the most effective thing I could do, as well as something that would keep me from getting a stroke or a heart attack, would be to resign, and I did. I figured I'd better just be a good boy and retire quietly. So while I continued meeting with my early morning cronies, I kept duct tape over my mouth regarding Israel and other woke issues, and I kept my interactions superficial with my ever more woke daughter. But then I was diagnosed with cancer, stage 3, modest chances of surviving, let alone with good quality of life for 5 years, and much of that would be tainted by the side effects of chemotherapy, radiation, and stem cell replacement. I figured it was time to try to reapproach with my daughter. We did okay, but ended up having to agree to disagree on reverse discrimination policies, reparations, and yes, Israel. I wanted to avoid arguing with her, but I couldn't resist saying that I'll go to my grave believing that despite the Israeli overreaction to the Hamas attacks, the Jews have done more net per capita to improve humankind than any other people. And woke anti-merit redistributive justice is accelerating Jewish people's ability to inability to make a difference. In other words, I guess, are decreasing Jewish people's ability to make a difference. And that would be to the detriment of everyone, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and atheists like you and me. I tried to hug her then, but she returned the hug only perfunctorily. That much probably only in sympathy for my having bad cancer. I asked my doctor for the assisted dying pills, but she refused, saying it would be illegal under California law because I'd very likely have more than 6 months to live. So as I sit here writing to you, I'm wondering if I should go through cancer's torture treatments or use a gun or nitrogen, so-called exit bag. In any event, that story is called A Remarkable Retirement. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And I'd certainly welcome you taking a look at any of my 32 books. Perhaps the one that's most relevant to this is my newest book, Affirmative Actions. It and the other 31 are on Amazon. Just go there and search on my name, Marty Nemko, N-E-M-K-O, and you will find more than you can stomach. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.